What is up, YouTube? I just wanted to make a quick message because this is something that has impacted me quite a bit, and honestly, I didn't think it would, but I just wanted to address something real quick. Um, Everybody's heard the news about Kobe Bryant as of this point, and everybody is coming out with their Kobe Bryant story. So I just want to come out with what Kobe Bryant meant to me as a person and as a fan. Now, I wasn't always a Kobe Bryant fan. I don't know if I addressed this too much on this channel, but I've always identified myself more as like a Jordan guy. And there was a time when I did hate Kobe Bryant, and it wasn't until the end of his career that I realized like it wasn't him I hated. It was more so the fans. But as time went on, and especially around the time he ruptured his Achilles, and just seeing him like work as hard as he could to try to get that super team that formed with him, Steve Nash, and Dwight Howard, and how he put it on his back when the chemistry wasn't working, and he was like the sole bond that kept that team relevant when all the other pieces were falling off. And I gained more respect for him. And then like just the things that he was associated with off the court, and like you would see that he was a fan of Bruce Lee. He studied Jeet Kune Do. He was a fan of Michael Jackson. Knew the man personally. Talked to him, and those are things that I connected with. And it was like, wow, this dude is. We have almost the exact same interests. So it was like, I can't hate him. Like it's impossible for me to hate him because we have the exact same interests. And then the Mamba mentality. You can't get past the Mamba mentality. I think that is honestly the greatest thing Kobe Bryant has attributed to Earth and history, period. Just the idea of Mamba mentality. Like, everybody talks about that old school killer instinct that you don't really see nowadays in the NBA. Kobe trademarked it, put a name to it, and put a face behind it. Like, there's no other players that you can associate with killer instinct more than Kobe Bryant. Like, you can make an argument for Jordan, but there's one thing I'll give Kobe over Jordan any day is that Kobe Bryant was definitely the hardest working NBA player ever. And don't get me wrong, Jordan was a hard worker as well, but Jordan wasn't the player that was coming into the gym at 3 a.m. when practice starts at 7. Like, Kobe was a monster. And part of that, I feel like when Kobe first came in the league, he probably didn't have the same gifts that Jordan did. Like, Jordan was blessed as far as how his body worked. Like, he was a higher jumper. He had big hands, so it made it very easy for him to move the ball around and things like that. And because he had stuff like that, I don't think he had to work as hard for to get to where he became. But with Kobe, it was like he didn't really have the same uh, privileges. He didn't have the big hands. He didn't have the the body frame. He didn't have as high of a jump, but he wanted that. He wanted to be that. He worked his ass off to get to as close to Michael Jordan as he could possibly get to. And I guarantee there is nobody out there that will argue that Kobe Bryant is the closest we have and we probably ever will see to Michael Jordan again. Like, and I'm not just talking about like the way they play either. I'm talking about as far as the mindset, as far as the drive, as far as the setting goals and accomplishing them. As far as a storybook career, I don't think there's anybody that will ever come close to Michael Jordan than Kobe Bryant. And to tell the truth, I didn't even want to record today. Like, I really did not want to record today. I it just feels weird. I'm still in this. I still have this feeling where it's like you can just like reset the last couple of days and just go back. Like, it just feels like it's not. I guess it just hasn't settled in with me yet or not, but it just feels like I don't know. You can hear news and that it turns out Kobe Bryant is actually okay or something, and also it goes out to his daughter. Like, I know for a fact that Kobe was preaching that Mamba mentality to her. Like I know that. That's not something that Kobe would take lightly. I guarantee he was passing on that mindset to his daughter, and seeing her develop and practice and take it as serious as she did, um, seeing how dedicated as a father Kobe was. Like you don't really like. There's not a lot of parents out there that will go out of their way to um, like take care of their kid the way Kobe did as far as uh, recreational sports. Like I, it just seems like for somebody that has already succeeded, somebody who is set as far as money and fame and things like that, a lot of people will rest on their laurels and not worry about dedicating as much effort into their children as Kobe did with his daughter. Like we see a lot of NBA players coming into the league that had NBA fathers, and you don't see them doing the same things. Like Shaq and his son, like his son is a very big prospect and could very well get into the NBA, but you don't really see them like courtside analyzing the game and pointing out different parts that you should be looking for and shouldn't be looking for, and the nuances and the inside tips and things like that. Like you don't really see them at games doing that. And I'm not trying to knock Shaq. I'm just using him as an example in this, uh, in what I'm talking about now. But like Kobe, you see that. You see the tapes of him training his daughter. You see the like on like social media. Like he almost all of his posts are about his daughter more so than they were about him. Like you can almost feel like something clicked with Kobe when his daughter decided she wants to pick up his legacy and be a basketball player. Because Kobe, I can't say he always wanted a son or something, but I'm willing to guarantee that people close to Kobe wanted him to have a son. Because in their mind, like, okay, that's going to be the person to carry on your basketball legacy and things like that. So when his daughter decided, I want to be a basketball player, I'm willing to guarantee that was probably the happiest moment of Kobe's life. Like, I got one. Yes. And I like there's going to be plenty of news that comes out about what happened and what was the cause and things like that. And I mean, I want to go ahead and take this time to just sit back and just analyze the life and the impact Kobe Bryant had, the impact he had on me. Like, I'm almost kind of happy that I didn't follow Kobe Bryant when I was younger, like in high school and stuff like that, because I wouldn't have appreciated it. I really wouldn't have. Like, it's the same thing about playing basketball in high school. I'm happy I didn't play basketball in high school because it took me not playing basketball and studying it and getting into it later that I fully picked up the idea of like things that I should be working for. It wasn't until a certain age that like the way I see things changed. It's like, okay, you should be looking for this as opposed to this. Like if I studied basketball when I was younger, I probably would have just been like just playing basketball. Whereas now it's like you know about the behind the scenes, the mindset, the drive, the practice, the things like that. Those are things that tend to happen when you're older. With Kobe, he was an exception because he was doing it when he was younger. Like he had that old man mindset at an early age. And like I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad because it lets me understand Kobe as not just a player but as a man. Like behind the scenes, I appreciate the things that don't really get a lot of attention from maybe a younger person that is getting into basketball. Um, Kobe Bryant as a man, I appreciate the hell out of him for because like he's influenced me a lot when it comes to the way I shave my face, like my stubble look. It comes from Kobe. If you look at my channel early on, I have a shaved head. One of those reasons is because of Kobe. Kobe let me know that it was okay to try to pass that look around. He was one of the reasons. There, there is just a lot that he did. The way he carried himself, like he didn't come off as someone that like ran away from getting out there and speaking and like trying to put himself first or anything like that. Because with a lot of professional athletes, ego and mindset does get into it, and I'm sure Kobe definitely had an ego, but he didn't let that get in the way of when he presented himself. Like Kobe had that old school subtlety to the way he handled things, whether it was something that upset him, whether it was something that made him happy or anything. It was just like everything was just cool, and he didn't wear his emotions like on his sleeve all the time and let his emotions get the best of him. You don't really see about him. You don't really see any stories or anything like that about him, like flipping out and like or getting offended at certain stuff that might be said about. Like he always controlled himself and was very cool with the way he handled himself in public. The way he spoke, just everything, just said like this was somebody that was a definition of a Renaissance man. Like one of the things about this channel, like somebody that went out of his way to constantly better himself in every single avenue that he could possibly do it in, whether it was educating himself, whether it was sports, athletics, whether it was being a parent, whether it was like anything. Like he always tried to better himself, and that is something that I always look at in a man, like something that I feel you should do. And when I say man, I don't mean that a woman can't do it. It's just me as a man, like I look up to that type of mindset. I feel like if you see yourself as somebody that is responsible and hardworking and things like that, these are certain examples you should follow, and Kobe is one of those examples. So I don't really know. I think I pretty much said everything that I need to say. I wasn't really expecting to talk too much about this. I'd like to make a video dedicated more to what Kobe meant to me and the impact he had on my life. At some point, that'll probably get released, but I just wanted to let everybody know that. I'd love to get types of stories you might have about Kobe in the comment section down below. Things that you like he has influenced you in. It doesn't have to be basketball. It could be anything. Like something that whenever you're doing it, you think like that this is for Kobe. Like this is what Kobe would do in this situation. So let me know in the comment section about different types of stories, impacts that he might have. And I'll be sure to check them out as well, and I will also participate in any type of discussions that you might have. With that being said, I'm Devon DaVinci. I hope you've just been enlightened, and I look forward to seeing you guys on a future video. And this one is dedicated to Kobe. So I'm going to give you the deuces. I'm signing out. Deuces.